Hey guys, Chelsea Coffey here with the Coffee Break, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that I struggle with from time to time. By from time to time, I mean really regularly, and that's boundaries. Boundaries are one of those things that constantly kind of rear its like ugly head to you, and you're thinking, gosh, if I could just get better about setting boundaries and honoring them, what would my life look like? So the whole goal of this video is to, at least give a couple of recommendations that I've started using for myself so that we can stop saying what if and start celebrating the yays. So let's just dive right into it. I got really sick last week. It was the craziest thing. Like, I don't get sick very often, so for me to be out of commission for like 4 days is unreal for me. But what I kind of appreciate about that happening is the very last day that I was like really, really bad. I had like 4 events or something like that I was supposed to go to, and I remember kind of thinking like, I'm not going to be able to go. And there was no, oh, maybe, oh, I can try. Like, it was a black and white no. And it's so liberating to feel like you don't have to make it work, or you don't have to make it happen, if that makes sense. So it kind of got me thinking, like, that's really what boundaries do. Like, when you get boundaries put in place the right way, you have that freedom to really dive in and pursue the things that you should probably be working on anyway, and it gives you the confidence to say no to the things that aren't contributing to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So that's why I compiled this list. I hope it's going to be helpful. So let's give it a go. Number one, know what you want. The trickiest part about boundaries is some boundaries are set kind of on principle, and then other boundaries are like hardcore reflections of the preparation that you put in place. So if we don't prepare, we can't be in position to really make good decisions, right? That's why I say know what you want, whether that's in terms of a relationship, the lifestyle that you want to have, the type of work that you want to do, where you want to be spiritually. I mean, there are a number of different things that you can designate as your wants, but I would even suggest to make a list of the things that you want. So at any point in time, when these different opportunities come up or when different things present themselves, you can always reference that list as really your source for yes or no. Does it honor the things on the list? Yes. If it doesn't, no, maybe later. But, put yourself in position, at least from the get-go, to make educated decisions based on the previous planning that you've already done. Number two, it's so important to set standards. So yes, you want to prepare and you want to plan and you want to have kind of your wish list of this is what my life would look like if everything was, perfectly in place. But we also have to have standards, and standards are so important because there are things that hold you accountable. So say, for instance, relationships are so easy to do this with. If, say, for instance, you know that you're going to be single until you find somebody who's worth settling down with, don't date, thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm single, and then you're dating people who don't match up to even any of the characteristics that you would look for in a future mate. So another example, it's a relationship one as well. Say, for instance, you consistently had dated a certain type of guy, and maybe you don't really like how it feels when you're around him, but that happens to be the type of guy that always shows you the most attention. Well, I say start praying against that thing. Like, if there's a guy who, for some reason, like verbally abusive guys, you find yourself in relationships like that, I'd recommend doing two things. Try to discover where that's coming from, that you would even, be entertaining that type of relationship. And this is for any relationship where we have things that we're like, gosh, why do I keep going back to that type of guy? Find out where that's coming from, and then really like ask God to take the taste of it from your mouth. I think it has to be a team effort for sure. And the goal hopefully would be that at some point when you start coming across that type of guy or that type of girl or that type of job or whatever it is, that it would be so clear to you, like when you're in front of it and when you're like exposed to it, that you're like, oh no, I don't do that. Like, that's not my thing. And you're in a flash gone. The third thing I would recommend for sure is Don't assume. I think sometimes we make the mistake of assuming that if we tell someone no, or that we can't, or whatever, that it's going to be the end of the world. Don't make that assumption. They might take it completely in stride. They might have a whole list of people who they're going to reach out to. Don't assume that just because you say no, it's going to be so detrimental to them. It may not even be that big of a deal. And that takes me to number 4. I would absolutely recommend to start small. If telling people no is something that just fundamentally it makes you uncomfortable, and even thinking about it stresses you out, don't start like on Mount Kilimanjaro telling people no. Like, start on the molehill, be comfortable with small no's. Like, if somebody asks you to have coffee just to kick it, and you're over here thinking, okay, I gotta get a proposal done, I have to get my business plan together, I have all these different things that I have to do, I have to pick up my mom from the airport. Like, don't squeeze that coffee date into the day. I know that it's the best intentions, that you want to be able to show that you appreciate that person reaching out to you, but if it's not the best time, it's not the best time. Set a future date where you can actually honor it and be excited about it. Number 5, be short and confident when you say no. So in my mind, at least, when I say no, it kind of starts off like, no, like that. Like, it literally takes that much for me to get it out, but get it out and be confident about when you say it. And it's funny, because the reason why I say that is that 9 times out of 10, when I tell somebody no, it starts off with an apology. Like, it's, oh, I'm so sorry, I won't be able to do XYZ because X, and you're giving like this laundry list of reasons why you can't do it. 1, you might be fabricating it a little bit because you feel bad for saying no. And 2, like, the person may not even care. Like, they may not even want all of that. So be okay with saying no. I think our culture, or, I don't know what it is, maybe it's the South, we do sometimes kind of feel bad just for either not being interested or not having the time, or it could be a number of things. But the more we, build on top of this reason why we're saying no, you're giving the person time to come up with a rebuttal. Don't give them the rebuttal. Say no, make it clean. You can maybe say, oh, thank you so much for thinking about me, I'm sorry I can't. And if you genuinely mean it, you can follow up with, but next time please keep me in mind, I'd love to be a part of it. And let that be the end of it, and keep it moving. Okay, so I kind of ran number 5 and number 6 together, so technically it really is like, be confident when you say no, and don't apologize. So 5 and 6, that's that. But for number 7, this one is really important. Trust your body. If there is one thing I can say about this corpo of mine, it's that I have like such strong physical cues when something is going wrong. So say, for instance, if I'm like seriously trying to figure something out, I can have like not like a care in the world the whole day, and as soon as somebody asks me something and I haven't been able to like figure out an answer, I literally can see myself like out of the corner of my eye, I see like my hand like scratching, because my brain is probably working so fast trying to figure out how to respond that it's like circuiting me out or whatever. So I say that to say that listen to your body. If your head starts itching like crazy, or if you get like a huge stomach ache and it's just in knots, take that into consideration. It might be a significant sign that it's not a good idea and it's not something that you could do. And until you can resolve it and your body goes back to normal, it probably means that it's still not packaged in a way that you're going to be useful. Number 8, commit. Commit to your standards and commit to your yes. So say, for instance, like I want us to look at it in 2 ways. So if your personal standards are, I only want to live in this part of town, I only want to have this type of a relationship, I want to have this type of a relationship with my family members, I want to do this type of work, you have to commit to it, because that really is why boundaries are there in the first place. It's just so great to know that if something isn't matching up to what it is that you have going on, those boundaries are going to be the thing that really keep you in line and keep you on track with where it is that you're trying to go. The next one I want to say is commit to your yes. So when you're trying to communicate to someone, why you can't do something or why you have to say no, it's really important to be confident in why it is that you're saying no, and that's your yes. So if your no to going to this event is because you've said yes to building your business, honor that. And while you're having a conversation with someone, listen to them, be polite, but be thinking about like, I've worked really hard to get this business off the ground. I need to be able to do that. I need to be able to work on what's going to move me in the right direction. Does this, like, be having that conversation in your head and be like, this doesn't contribute to that right now. It's not something I'm gonna have to do. And then that way, when you kind of like click back in and you're talking to the person, you are super like sure of your foundation behind why you say no. And I think most people are going to appreciate that authenticity. So I want to leave you guys with a quote. Don't accept invitations to opportunities that do not align with your purpose. Not every opportunity is a blessing, and good is not always right. Right is defined by what gets me to my destination. Dr. Miles Monroe. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I hope these tips were helpful. So if you like what you saw, share it. If you want to connect, we can do that via Twitter, Instagram. It's at Chelsea_Alexa. And thanks so much for watching. Take care. All this fuss over nothing.